Oof.
We're going to fashion. We're going to high-end fashion.
Yeah.
Gucci.
Talk about it.
Prada.
Yeah.
Montclair. But we'll start with Gucci. Okay. If you haven't been under the rock for the last week and a half, you know that Gucci is in deep water right now because they made a turtleneck that it's like a blackface thing. It turns up and it has red lips. I'm sure you've probably seen it. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Then Montclair has a Sambo jacket.
Yeah, you know what? Montclair is so disturbing. Last year, they were in the news for having the blackface patch on the sweatshirt. Last year, okay? 2018. This year, they said, you know what? We'll top it. We're going to put black faces all over a bubble jacket and put it out for retail.
Okay. Then Burberry decides it's a good idea to have a hoodie with a noose on it.
Yeah, they're calling it the nautical. The nautical hoodie.
Oh, man. And then Prada did something.
Prada had the monkey pendants.
In the window.
And they were putting on their bag. It had the big monkey displays.
In Fifth Avenue, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They got like Al Sharpton came, the whole big thing.
Yeah, and prior to that, we had H&M.
H&M had the coolest monkey in the jungle with a black kid wearing it.
And they thought that was a good idea.
Okay. So, obviously, this isn't a coincidence, right? They're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
So, why are they doing it on purpose? There's a lot of different theories. There's a thing called outrage marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody's familiar with outrage marketing, but it's pretty much, you can kind of guess what it is by the name, where you just shock value, right? Any publicity is good publicity. You just do crazy stuff. You get your name out there. You get some backlash. You apologize, but it doesn't really hurt your brand. And it hasn't really hurt their brand.
Yeah, I mean,
these companies' brands, because H&M.
Yeah, H&M last year, April, they put out the coolest monkey sweatshirt, and they saw a decline. Temporary decline for 2 months, but their 2018 retail sales were up 5%. So people were still supporting the brand. They were temporarily outraged, and people wanted answers. And then people realized, you know what, these clothes are affordable. I'm still going to buy them.
We live in a disposable society, right? And people lack discipline. So they boycott for a week, and then they just forget about it because something else comes about.
Yeah.
So is that why these companies are doing this? Because, as I said, I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah. How many times can we be slapped in the face?
And it's all high-end fashion brands.
Yeah.
Well, H&M is a high-end fashion brand, but so Gucci and
Prada,
yeah. And Montclair and Burberry. So now they're saying that, okay, it's a boycott on Gucci, right? I'm not opposed to that. But Gucci is actually owned by a larger corporation, right? Mm-hmm. The Kering Group, I believe it's called. And they own YSL, Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen, Gucci, other brands as well. Yeah. So are you boycotting all of these brands as well?
Why are we wearing these brands?
To begin with.
Yeah, like what? I don't get it.
To begin with, why are we wearing these brands, right?
Yeah.
We love T.I., one of my favorite rappers.
You're gonna hold that forever. I'm never gonna let you forget that.
In the South, I wasn't a big fan of Southern hip hop music.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of listeners in the South. I love the South. Atlanta, Florida.
We had that debate. Like I was a Wayne guy.
I love the South.
You were a T.I. guy.
But I wasn't huge on the South hip hop until T.I. Because T.I. had swag. I could relate to him. And his lyrics, he was a good lyricist.
Absolutely.
Dope. I just liked him. I still like him.
Yeah.
But I don't understand when he calls for a boycott, and then he starts out his paragraph with saying, I'm a 7-figure year customer. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you have a clothing line.
Yeah, cool.
Which stands for
a king of oneself.
You have a clothing line that the acronym is a king of oneself. And you spend 7 figures a year with Gucci.
Another brand. Like I see, when you see these people outside, you would think, hey, every once in a while I would sprinkle my own clothes on, if not all the time, to promote my own brand.
It's confusing.
Yeah, let's spend $1 million.
That's very confusing.
Yeah, people in his comments like, look, why don't you spend that $1 million trying to help another brand get off the ground or put it in your own brand?
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to bash T.I. I like T.I.
We love T.I.
I actually like
T.I. is one of the best.
But I didn't understand that, and I didn't understand a 3-month boycott. I don't understand that.
What do we do after?
The average person maybe has one Gucci item, if that.
Yeah.
2, they buy like a Gucci item once every 5 years.
Right.
It's not like you're going grocery shopping. Like I think celebrities a lot of times are out of touch with reality. 3 months, it's like you're not going to ShopRite or A&P.
Yeah. I saw like that's what I'm saying. Like these celebrities. So Future said that he spends $200,000 or $300,000 a month on clothing. I'm like, what are you buying?
Why are you spending money on clothes when you can get stuff for free?
Exactly. Or just create your own.
Okay. So this is a pretty disturbing issue, right?
Yeah, and one of the other things that they were saying is that, you know what, these mistakes, quote unquote, are happening because we're not represented at the top of the creative chain when it comes to these high-end fashion, right? But
well, that's true.
That is true, and we've recently seen Virgil take over at Louis Vuitton. So,
but how many times are you gonna? Okay, if I come into your house, right? I can't tell you to feed me, to give me a blanket. You can give me that if you want to.
If you like.
You don't have to treat me good. It's your house. Right? Like, how many times can we demand somebody to treat us appropriately instead of treating ourselves appropriately?
Yeah. So Dapper Dan, who is one of the creative directors at Gucci, like, he was outraged by it. Obviously, he should. And Dapper Dan's a legend, for those who don't know him. And he had the CEO of Gucci come to Harlem to talk about the issues that he's facing and demanded some action.
Well, what is that going to do?
Right. I don't know. And
we love Dapper Dan.
It sounded good. Like, this guy's flying from Italy to come to Harlem and talk to...
Who cares?
Why?
Who cares?
Yeah, like,
and the thing about it is, the reason why the T.I. thing is interesting is that by him saying he spends 7 figures a year on Gucci, it's not just saying that he spends 7 figures a year on Gucci. It brings up a larger issue, right? Where athletes, entertainers, rappers, specifically rappers, have given free endorsements for years. And companies have reaped the benefits of it. Yeah. And they don't pay these people to do that. Right? Absolutely. It's a status symbol, and you feel that you're above somebody else by saying that you're wearing these things or you're driving these cars and you're making these companies
I have
money.
Made it to a certain level.
Remember Cristal? Cristal was a little known champagne brand for years. And somehow, I think Big was the first one that championed Cristal. Right. For some reason. I don't know. He was also the first one to find Jacob the Jewel. It's a different story. Yeah, but he's championing it because it was the most expensive thing. Yeah, but it was weird that he just found it randomly. I'm sure it had, like, maybe somebody in it. So they had gold bottles. That was the thing. So he starts talking about Cristal. And then Jay-Z starts to champion it. Yeah. And then it just goes crazy. Every rapper has gold bottles, Cristal, and their sales went up, don't quote me on this, but it went up like 300% in the course of a 5-year time frame. Directly related to rappers, there's no argument about it. Then the CEO of the company says he doesn't want to be associated with those kind of people. Right. So what, then Jay comes out with the lyric? I used to drink Cristal. So then it's a ban on Cristal. Yeah. Okay. So we've seen this play before. Oh, absolutely. And then staying in line with Jay-Z, we talk about Jay a lot because he's a cultural icon and a very important person. So, remember Iceberg? Iceberg, man. That was late 90s. Man. Late 90s, my God. Iceberg, man. Iconic. When I was in high school, if you had an Iceberg sweater, you were elite level. Yeah, so Iceberg had the cartoon characters. They had like Snoopy. Yeah, Snoopy. They had. Did they license that? They had to get that license, right? Mickey Mouse, Snoopy. But those sweaters were like $300, $500. It was Cool G and Iceberg. Yeah, Iceberg was crazy. Iceberg was the T-shirts with $200. Jay-Z, all he was wearing was Iceberg. Remember he had a line that Iceberg sweats with IV on the elastic. Yeah. So everybody wanted Iceberg. Jay-Z was talking about Iceberg in every lyric. So they figured, okay, we're spending so much money on Iceberg, and we're talking about it. Let's go talk to these guys. Why don't we try to get an endorsement deal? Yeah, let's have a meeting with them. So him and Dame go to Iceberg, and they try to get an endorsement. And they say, no, thank you. We don't make these clothes for you. No, we're not interested. Yeah. Not interested. But that no turns into something extremely profitable. Yes. So they say no. And they decide to do their own thing and make a clothing brand called Rocawear. Mm-hmm. Based off of Rockefeller Records, Rocawear, right? So now they get the bright idea to start Rocawear, which they probably should have done from the beginning, but better late than never.
Yeah, Rocawear, 80 million in like 18 months.
Yes. 8 years later, from the inception date, they sell Rocawear for $204 million. You see what happens when you stop asking people for something and you do something for yourself?
In that same time, what happens to Iceberg, though?
Fell off the cliff of the earth.
Disappeared for...
They're making a resurgence.
Yeah, they're coming back now, but they disappeared for 15 to 20 years.
Why?
Disappeared.
Because the rappers stopped talking about them.
Yeah, we don't want you. Thank you, we'll move on.
So I don't understand why this is such a hard concept to understand. That's a perfect case study.
Yeah.
They blew up Iceberg. They approached Iceberg for endorsement. Iceberg says no. They start their own company. Iceberg falls off the cliff of the earth. Their company that they start, they sell for $250 million in 8 years.
Yeah. But, I mean, they did that with the liquor, too. So, like, they did Cristal, and that turned into Armandale, and that turned into
Ace of Spades,
and that turned into Douce. So, I mean, all right, cool. You don't want us to drink your stuff? We'll make our own. When will we learn?
When will we learn?
I don't know.
When will we learn?
I don't know. Can we just, on Burberry, really quickly. So, the Noose hoodie is like, if you've seen the Noose hoodie, like, there's no...
No, I did it on purpose.
Right? So, the creative director at Burberry is now Riccardo Tisci, and he's been like known for in the fashion world for many years. He was the creative director at Givenchy, and Jay said his name in the song too, right?
Riccardo Tisci,
Givenchy clothes, right? Whatever. So my thing is like, yes, is he from our culture? No, but has he been around it enough? Absolutely, right? He collaborated with Kanye to do the Watch the Throne album cover. He did the What's the album? What's the label he had? Oh, Good Music. When they put out their Cruel Summer, he did the cover with him. He's collaborated with Jay and Beyonce for their tour. He same thing with Rihanna. So he's been around the culture enough. There's no reasonable explanation why you would be the creative director. You saw that this design was coming down the line, and you pressed OK.
It's not the worst part. The worst part is that they apologized. And in the apology, they apologized.
Yeah, suicide.
For suicide.
Yes.
We're sensitive about suicide.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not. Yeah.
But, and then they say, racial
insensitivity. Yeah. It's not something to be joked at.
Thousands of black people were lynched in the South for over 100 years. It's not racial insensitivity. Right. It's lynching. So they don't even apologize for that aspect of it.
Well, I think that one of the models apologized, and they cut her quote a little bit. So she did apologize. I mean, one of the models who was in the show did not want them to do this, right? She was like, listen, don't do this. This is ridiculous. You shouldn't walk down the runway with this. And they went ahead and did it anyway. And then that was part of her apology. That suicide is not something that we should joke with. And then the racial insensitivity. But again, like, who okayed that to go down your runway?
You know what? It doesn't even matter. Who cares? Stop supporting it.
Yeah.
Or just take it. I'm not asking for an apology. Yeah. Somebody don't know how to treat me. I'm not asking for them to apologize to me.
Yeah.
They've already shown me who they are.
I believe them. When they show you who you are, when somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them.
Save your apology.
Yeah.
I'm good.